So I was watching Earn Your Leisure and Irv Gotti recently called Made You Look, the greatest hip hop record of all time. So that kind of got me like thinking of I don't know, I kind of felt myself like agreeing with him at first, like when you listen to Made You Look back. But I was just like thinking like if you have to pick one record for whatever reason to be like the record,
Yeah,
in hip hop, like what would we pick? And I don't know. Made You Look isn't on the isn't on my. It's not the one for me, but
Why
I
did he
get it.
say? Why did he say that was the greatest song of all time?
He said he didn't say the greatest song of all time. He said the greatest hip hop record of all time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No,
And
that's what I'm saying. Why did he say it's the greatest hip hop record?
okay.
go ahead, Jason.
I was just gonna when you think about it, like, because at first I was like, no. My initial reaction was no, but then I thought about it, and I'm like, when you think of just hip hop in general, and it low key checks off all the boxes for like a really good song, like the cadence, the flow, the beat is fire, the hook is fire. Then you got to think about how the song competed with everybody else. It charted. That song was on the charts for a
Yeah,
minute. You still hear that beat floating around now. It's lasted the test of time.
the remix was
It,
crazy too.
the remix was crazy. It got remixed. The lyrics is gritty yet still like inspirational. It touched both sides of it, and then it got the and then also when you play that shit, it got that feeling to it. Like it got
Yeah.
that like hip hop. Like it got that.
Yeah, so that's where I was okay. So that's where I was like, his logic I think is like exactly where you're going to. Like I think you hitting the nail on the head with that because it's so hip hop, right?
It,
The biggest like pure hip hop song, right? Because like you said, it charted, it was a single and it was a big song. Even the remix, I think even grew it with like Luda and Jadakiss, grew it even bigger. But like I thought that like okay he's just talking about like that there's no other elements to it, like there's no singing, there's no melody, and even like my pick has other musical elements in it. I think he has a point.
But I feel like what you guys just said, like it hits all the elements. I feel like there's so many hip hop records that have those same elements. Like, with New York, it's so gritty. It's the production is like just super New York, and it's a song about
Mhm.
New York where hip hop pretty much started. So like, man, this is like an impossible song. This is an impossible like question to ask. But in honesty, if you're gonna ask me what the greatest hip hop record of all time, I mean, bro, International Players Anthem, like that
Yeah,
is probably the uniqueness of that song with elements of you have like the southern rap and just like man, I don't know the just the Big Boys, UGK combining to form such a not only a hip hop song, but such a fan friendly favorite song that it's
mhm.
loved universally. You know,
Yeah,
um, I, but again, I don't. Is that the greatest hip hop song of all time? Probably not. But you have to go with like a song like International Players Anthem. Like
I
that might
love that pick,
that
honestly.
could
I
be.
love it.
I love that song. I love that song, but I don't know if it's the best. Like
That's
as
what I'm saying. It's an
pure
impossible. It's an
hip
impossible
hop.
Yeah.
question to answer.
I think he might have hit it with that. Like as far as a hip hop record, like if aliens came out the sky and came down and we were showing them around and we like that's a sandwich. This is that. That's rock and roll. Like if we had one song where it was like there was like hip hop, what's that? And we only pick one song, like I think that shit low key going. I think that's a great example of like just what is hip hop, and I feel like
Yeah.
that song low key hit. It just hits it. Like I, I you don't want to talk about songs that's like that's because I don't think that's Nas's best song, and I think there are songs better than that one. But just as a pure, like you said, a pure hip hop song, gotta feel like a fucking old hip
I
hop.
don't know, man. I like my pick. I'm gonna go into it, but like International Players Anthem is one of
It's
those. So,
I
like,
love
I
that.
love that pick. I love that pick, Eddie. Because it does like all right. It has like the Andre 3000 storytelling. It has the beat switch. It has like and like that southern feel, like he was saying, it has so many elements of hip hop too, and it's such an easy listen. I think it's an easier listen than Made You Look.
And like every time International Players Anthem comes on, man, you just can't help but sing along to it, you know?
Yeah,
Like, like it. I mean,
that shit
Major,
gets played at weddings.
bro,
Like,
yeah, like, just like, don't get me wrong, like you said, like the only thing, like Made You Look, just it's a great song, but it just doesn't stand out as much as like
yeah,
International Players Anthem.
Yeah.
yeah,
I just feel it was a great take. I feel like that was like at first I disagreed, but I was like, that's a pretty good take on it.
But if you were to ask me
yeah.
which song I like better,
Yeah.
I like Made You Look better.
I like International Players Anthem better. But,
You know, but
Yeah.
I think International Players Anthem is a better hip hop song in general.
Yeah. So like for a lot of the elements that Eddie is saying, my pick is Juicy
Okay.
because of like checking off the elements, right?
Great.
So like it has everything. It has like it has that sample, it has like a recognizable, easy recognizable beat. It's got punchlines, it's got that relatable story, and it's got like that kind of like defeating the odds. He's defeating the odds. He's talking about what he used to wish for, and then he's talking about how he had to do like the shit that he had to do, selling drugs and stuff, and then he ended up getting to the top like he never thought he would get here. And just like it has like the hip hop cockiness too. Like if you didn't know, now you know. Like that. Like that's what I was looking for is like just the elements of hip hop. I think Juicy like just checks all of those boxes.
The cadences, the flow of that song, just
Yeah.
like man, it just like if you were to put like a man like a graph, Juicy just keeps getting better and better as the song goes on, you know. So yeah. And it's
that
such
shit
a
is like
and
off the charts for me.
it's such a easy listen to, but at the same time, like the wordplay is like I don't know if this makes sense. The wordplay is somewhat complex, but an easy listen to.
Yeah.
Just,
and that's like
yeah.
So yeah, like Jason was saying, like I'm thinking of taking somebody who's never heard any hip hop ever, and then you pick that one song to be like, this is hip hop. I don't think like International Players Anthem's great, but
because you got to remember, when hip hop first started, when hip hop first started, it didn't sound like Made You Look. I feel like when hip hop first started, you know, like it was fun, upbeat, you know, the rhyme flow. And I think International Players Anthem is what peak hip hop was, with all the elements combined from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s was just all wrapped into one. It's like gumbo. It's like gumbo for hip hop. Like that song just meshed so well.
Yeah,
it old school, like that sample was classic, so it got like, because you know hip hop wasn't received by everybody and all that shit, so it kind of blended the all here like, ooh, I like that. And then
I came across a video too about Juicy, which was like one of the craziest facts I think ever. But Juicy was actually intended for Nas. So he had booked a session with DJ LES, and he was supposed to bring the sample, the Juicy Fruit sample, to the studio, but instead he brought the wrong sample, which was Yearning for Your Love by Gap Band. And that ended up being Life's a B. Yeah, it ended up being Life's a B, which is another classic. But it's crazy because in that interview, Nas was like, it took me forever to get over it once Juicy dropped. Like he was pissed about it because Juicy was such a big record. But like that's one of those like, you glad it happened, but like damn, like
but I wonder how Nas would have
switched. It went the other way around.
Yeah, how would Nas do like be on it? You know?
Yeah.
Because like I think, man, this is kind of weird to say. I don't know, because I think Biggie is more versatile than Nas, even though Nas is, you know, but Biggie's more versatile, so he can give you like, you know, like Hypnotize and, you know, like more fan friendly songs than Nas can. I feel Nas is just more gritty, you know,
for sure.
So
Yeah, no, Biggie's his flow is easier, and his I like his voice and cadence
his
and
voice
shit.
is better. Yeah.
Definitely a easier listening to us for sure.
You know what? I think those songs are the same tempo.
Which one?
Like
Juicy and Life's a B.
this
Oh,
It
song.
might, you know what? It might be. It might
I
be.
wonder if somebody, man, I don't know if it's any producers that listening to this. Can y'all take Nas's vocals and put it over Juicy and then switch them and see if they fucking coincide? That would be hard. I wonder if that's out there.
Yeah,
That would be fucking
it
crazy.
might be.
Sure.
Every-
But it makes sense that they should have had that, but the beats is the same tempo. And
Yeah.
then, but we could find out what it would have been like.
It's just it's crazy too because that was a time where like you had to go to the studio in order to like do the entire recording
yeah,
process. Like something like that wouldn't happen today, you know? It would more than likely get sent to the right person. They have to pass up on it.
yeah.
And like it's just like it's crazy how
It's like
like low key like the universe like made that happen.
well, it's
Yeah.
like what's
Yeah.
remember? It's like the In the Club beat was given to D12 first,
Yeah.
and then I think
And they
they
passed
passed
on it.
on it. They didn't like it, and then gave it to 50.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of, I'm glad you brought that up because I'll be watching too many interviews, number one. But there's there's an interview with Irv Gotti that's recent. And it came after I was watching the Earn Your Leisure with the Made You Look thing. Irv was talking about the first time they heard In the Club. He was with Ja and like a bunch of people from Murder Inc. And he said when he heard it, he was like Wangsta was okay, like it was cool, but it wasn't like damn, like you know, it was just a cool record. And then he said Funk Flex was playing it and they listened to it, and everybody sat down to listen to it. And then he was like, all right, let me hear what it's gonna be, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, he heard the beats and he was like, fucking Dre. And then he said, as soon as the melody came on, he was like, buckle the fuck up. We got a big problem.
Oh,
Well, hey, that's
Like,
kind of
we
interesting.
have a problem.
That's kind of
yo,
interesting.
this is
That's
bad.
kind of interesting because that's exactly what Jay said to Memphis Bleak, to Beanie Siegel. He was like, when that song came out, he said, y'all motherfuckers got 1 year to put out as much music as y'all can because it's gonna be a wrap for everybody else.
Yeah.
And he did
Once
that
this shit hit the street, it's over.
We ain't heard from Memphis Bleak since, nigga.
Or Beanie.
God damn.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's crazy.
It's crazy to hear. It's crazy to hear how like pretty much almost everybody in the hip hop industry basically kind of agreed. Like, yeah, like once the song comes out, it's like it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Like, that's
That
why
was
like
one of those ones. As soon as you hear it,
get as many songs out as you can just to stay somewhat relevant. You know,
mm-hmm.
then you just get lost in the sauce, bro. Straight up.
Yep. It's crazy that 50 created that kind of wave like before social media and everything. Like it's hard to explain to like kids now, or like not even kids, but just people who are too young to like really see it like that. Like because we were what in middle school, middle school when 50 was dropping, but like he really cornered the fucking market. Like because like you look at Drake, like Drake's the biggest artist on the planet. Like his popularity is like crazy right now, right? But like the way that 50 cornered the market, like it's crazy.
I mean, I can't remember as popular as Drake is. I don't think he was ever had as much hype, and I don't think his peak was as big as peak as 50's.
50.
You know,
50's peak is insane. I think the only people that rival 50's peak is probably like Pac or
Kanye. Kanye's peak was pretty big.
Yeah, but
remember when they had that battle for the CDs when they both dropped at the same time?
Yeah. I was gonna say Pac and Wayne, because Wayne's peak when he went on that mixtape run for a long time, you had people who wouldn't even listen to anything if it didn't have Wayne on it. And then but like you said, like Kanye, as far as like popularity, Kanye was everywhere too. But like Wayne really had people who refused to listen to music unless he was on it.
Like he was just dropping mixtape after mixtape.
Yeah.
It was kind of around the time where like kind of probably say 50. Well, I don't know, Wayne, like Wayne, Ti, like that little group. They were the last generation of like that old school superstar.
Yeah.
Everybody loves you, chasing you out the mall type of thing. Because then after that, niggas figured out cell phones, and
Mm-hmm.
then we was able, and then it was too much access. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
to where it was a mystique about people. You would only see what media put out about them. You know?
Yeah, or like you would see them at award shows and stuff. Like
Yeah,
you wasn't seeing their everyday life.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's what kind of like helped that peak of 52.
yeah,
It was that mystique, and because like his persona was
bigger
like
than
his presence too. Yeah, like his presence on songs and stuff was crazy
yeah,
back then. I mean, you know, the game has evolved now, but still, it
yeah,
was like when 50 was on a song, like everybody stopped to listen to that shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Till
And
this
they were
day,
dropping mixtapes every month too.
yeah. Till this day, when "Hate It or Love It" dropped, that was probably the one song where I felt some shit. Like I don't even know what it
Yeah.
was, but it like I was just like, oh shit, like hell yeah, I live on the West Coast. Like I literally remember listening to that and be like, looking at palm trees and just being like, this nigga 50 skating on this shit. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, shout out to 50, man.
Y'all got anything, Jason? You said you had a hot take. I want to
Oh
hear that.
man,
Hold on,
I
hold
need
on,
to
hold
hear
on.
this hot take. Oh, go
Honorable
ahead,
mention.
Eddie.
Honorable mention on hip hop songs.
yeah, I
Mhm.
got some. Go ahead.
Cream by Wu-Tang.
I said that. Good job.
Yep.
Oh, he already said that.
Good job. No,
Yeah.
I was
100% though.
Oh, I
Still
thought
to
you
this day.
already said it. I thought you already said it. Nah.
No.
But I think Cream by Wu-Tang
Yeah,
is
Cream.
an honorable mention for sure.
Yeah. That's one of those songs where I actually wish I was in New York when Cream dropped. Like I was like, I know that
Hey,
shit had like
someone recently on Twitter, I don't know who it was. I should have saved the tweet, but he got
the
the
60
music video.
frames.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I sent that to Jason. I thought I
Bro.
sent it to you too, bro. It's
No,
crazy.
I
It's
saw it
dope.
on Twitter,
It's
bro.
dope.
And this motherfucker should be doing this for every single old school classic hip hop video.
Yeah, he does it
Like,
for I saw Nas, he had a Nas video that was like
bro,
crazy. I was like, yo, like this is crazy. But yeah, I saw the Cream one too. Yeah.
That's the one I saw, the Cream one, and I was just like, yo, and then I couldn't help but just immerse myself. And like,
Yeah.
man, if you can just shut, like, it
Yeah.
almost like as if everything just kind of like you turn the volume down on every single aspect of your life, whether like outside noise, and all you can hear is the song. Man, that beat is just so crazy to me.
Yeah.
That was produced by
Cream
RZA,
is,
right? That was produced by RZA.
I had I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm
I don't
pretty
know,
sure
man.
if it wasn't, it was like, yeah,
One of the
he had a
greatest,
hand in it.
one of the greatest beats of all time too.
Yeah, for sure. One of the greatest songs, period. Yeah, that's definitely one of those ones.
I made like a little list. I could like read it off and y'all could like approve or not.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I had said Tupac, California Love. This one I feel like low-key slept on, but Work It by Missy Elliott.
Yeah, I see it, but I just
like
don't see it as like the one. But I mean, it's definitely a dope song.
So I feel like that was up there though. Like that shit was crazy. Like that beat. It Was a Good Day by Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Baby.
Storytelling.
Shook Ones by Mobb Deep.
Shook Ones is up there for sure.
Is for sure.
But see how you said about Shook Ones is how I feel about Made You Look as well. Like they're both just gritty New York songs, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Shook Ones for sure.
Check the Rhyme by Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
For sure.
Bro, how are we forgetting about Lauryn Hill in terms of songs?
If I was gonna say if I rule the world.
But see, that's like one of those. All right, so the reason I thought about Lauryn Hill. Yeah, I thought about Lauryn Hill, but I listened to that album. Like I can't listen to one song in that album. I have to play that full album. So like I didn't even think about like one song in particular that would stick out.
It's just Lauryn Hill.
That's the reason I didn't. Yeah, it's just like here's like if we're talking about albums, like it's on the list, but like for me, one song doesn't stick out from Lauryn Hill.
For me, everything is everything sticks out.
Yeah.
Honestly,
What about If I Ruled the World?
that too. That too.
That's one.
Yeah, that's what I said right now. I feel
That
like
too.
that song is better than Made You Look.
100%.
Yeah.
Feel me?
For sure.
Camp Low, This Is It.
That's one. That's
Or
definitely
like
one.
hip hop, it's like, and then I kind of went with a couple takes from the new school, like "All Right" by Kendrick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I would say Money Trees.
I like that. Money Trees, of course.
I fucking love Money
Money
Trees.
That's 100%. I completely agree
The
with that. I guess
storytelling and
we're
shit.
looking
Yeah.
like when we think about like greatest songs, we tend to like focus too much on like the past, you know?
Yeah.
Like honestly, like Kendrick is one that like you literally just said, uh All Right,
Yeah.
Money Trees,
Yeah.
and then oh my gosh, To Pimp a Butterfly, To Pimp
fuck.
why am I forgetting the name, Sean? Come on.
Is it I?
We gonna
I
be
love
all right.
myself. Oh, that's all right. Yeah, Jason already said all right.
Okay, all right. But no, the one To Pimp a Butterfly, what's that one?
That
is
was
it I? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
He had the singles were I, and then King Kunta and
King Kunta. There we go.
All right. And
No,
all right.
King Kunta. Like that song right
King
there.
Kunta
Like
for sure.
Kendrick possibly has three songs in probably the top 25 of all time.
Oh yeah. He's also got 3 albums probably in the top 15.
But I think we tend to focus too much on like the old school hip hop.
I agree. There's a lot of new stuff that does surpass a lot of the old stuff too.
Yeah, man. I'm disappointed though that we didn't even bring up Lauryn Hill. Well, Jason did, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, for sure.
I feel like DMX should be. I don't know. He should be that shit. I said "Party Up" by DMX.
Rough Rider, yeah, "Party Up." Rough
the best one, I don't know, but I feel
Rough Rider's anthem, probably.
Yeah, Rough Rider's anthem. It's so many. It's hard to pinpoint one, but it just depends on like the logic that you're going with, you know, with that.
So nothing for Jay-Z, Sean? Yeah, I thought you was going.
I mean, but see, I'm thinking of and that's the thing. So like Jay is either super intricate or like really on like the pop, like making a single. So like he doesn't have the ability to appeal to as many people as like a Juicy or like, because like Jay, like I think his first top 10 hit was Niggas in Paris. So like Jay is either it's The Evils or it's like what, like Show Me What You Got, like, you know, it's like
a dirt off your shoulders.
Yeah, but what about?
But that's not.
What about?
I mean,
what about New York with Alicia Keys?
Yeah, but okay, I get it. But like, there's like you were saying, there's so many other songs that I think is like even more. So like, he had one in the Blueprint too with a Frank Sinatra sample. I Did It My Way, which I think is more New York than the actual New York song.
Yeah, but not a lot of people are going to say like that's a top hip hop record.
But see, I don't think Jay has one of those. Like to me, he has like some of my favorite. Like Feeling It is one of my favorite. The Evils is one of my. Those make like top 50 lists for me. But like if I'm showing somebody who doesn't know hip hop a hip hop song, like maybe Public Service Announcement.
Yeah,
but it's not.
We're forgetting about like. Man, there's so many Kanye songs that could also be considered like stronger.
Stronger
yeah,
off top. Power off top.
Power, like, yeah, exactly. Like there's so many songs. Like even oh my gosh, why am I forgetting it? All Falls Down.
All Falls
Down, bro. Like there's so many songs. But I get what you're saying. Like compared to like those Kanye songs versus compared to Jay-Z songs. A lot of those I feel like they're personal favorite hip hop, but like in terms of like encompass all of hip hop, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Jay is either like, to me, he's either making a single or he's appealing to his core audience. Like he doesn't have a lot of the middle ground. Like when I listen to Jay's albums, it's like that shit is like super intricate, and then single, and then super intricate, super intricate. Like there's no like middle sound. And like you said, New York is probably like once he got with Kanye, he had the bigger sounds and stuff like that. But I don't see anything that appeals to somebody who hasn't ever heard hip hop, and that's crazy because Jay-Z is widely considered as the GOAT. But like
Yeah,
I don't think that he has that song. Like he has wonderful songs, like I said, top 10 songs, but like he
Hey, what
doesn't
do you
have
think
that
about?
one.
What do you think this kind of leads into? I know we're kind of jumping off topic, but did you hear that whole debate about them saying that Eminem was a more impactful artist in hip hop than Jay
I
was?
did.
And I
I
and I
did.
and I kind of agree with that.
I do. Okay, so I actually retweeted that too. And I put a little statement. So I said with craft and like put like craft and skill, yes. Culture, no. Like Jay
Mhm.
pushed the culture forward more, but as far as like pushing the craft forward, M for sure. Because you can't,
yeah,
if you can even name anybody, the list is probably less than five as far as like pure rappers ever to grace earth better than Eminem, right? And like
right.
even his from his beginning to like now, like who has really pushed the craft to those heights.
Yeah,
You
he's
know what
way.
I'm saying? But as far as like culture and like including business and like shit like that, like that Jay
Yeah,
is he's untouched by anybody as far as like the cultural impact.
Right.
So I mean, I
uh,
get it. I
"Sing for
get
the
the
Moment"
debate.
is probably one of the greatest hip hop songs of all time, too. I would say,
Yeah, that to me that's like top five for sure. Maybe even top three. See for the moment is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
but I mean, I get
And I
what you
think that
say.
song goes over so many people's heads.
I get what you say about the culture. I mean, honestly, that's just like it's almost like you have to take that out because Eminem's not black, so like it's almost like
Yeah.
it like Jay-Z's cultural impact, of course, is a lot more impactful than Eminem's. So I get what you're saying with that, but in
Yeah, I
terms of
get it,
like,
but so
go ahead.
like I see what you're saying and I do agree to some extent, but even if you take somebody like MC Search,
Yeah,
like he's single-handedly pushed the culture forward too. He's in Illmatic, like he's really responsible for Illmatic damn near. So like like I get what you're saying, but I feel like there's even other white people who have pushed the culture forward more than M as far as like the culture,
yeah, yeah. But everybody up there,
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we splitting hairs at this point.
yeah.
Yeah, we splitting hairs at the top.
Oh God. Ooh.
What was your hot take, Jason?
All right, man. I'm gonna just bring it back. I don't think niggas, y'all don't have enough appreciation for this Nas verse on Nostradamus. And it's on the song.
bro, that's like fucking 5 podcasts ago.
Okay, I'll bring it back. If y'all listen to that song, Big Girl, the verse, it's masterful. It's really masterful how this nigga talking about how he was chilling with Shorty on the block. He got caught up by another feed. He got caught up by his main chick with his side chick. The bitch threw a beer bottle at the car, got out, started beating her ass. Nas realized that the girl was whooping his girl's ass a little too good. Grabbed the other girl's arms, let his girl
A
get
little
some
too
cheap
good.
shots. Let his girl get some cheap shots on the girl. They heard the police coming, fucking left. This nigga Nas wiping tears off her face, and he not even in trouble talking about we gonna be all right. He did this in a whole verse.
Hey,
He did this in like 10 bars.
hey,
And it's amazing. And
you're
niggas,
right. You're right.
man,
But that album's still trash.
bro, I don't hey, nigga, it's masterful.
Jason went back
You will
and
not let
listened
it
to
go, bro.
Nostradamus.
Hey,
Oh man.
Go back. Hey, really listen to that verse. I made sure I listened
I
to it.
I believe you
But
because Nas is one of the better
Yeah,
storytellers ever. But
he
like,
did it with like 12 bars,
it's
bro.
still his worst album though.
He still had he rapped that lead. He did it in 10 bars, bro. Like, how do you it's amazing. I don't know. I don't know.
the
That's
way
why
you describe that is hilarious.
it's
Oh
crazy.
my gosh. I mean,
I
I
was
don't.
I was not expecting your hot take to be a verse from Nostradamus.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
Oh man.
that's where I'm at with it, man.
It's crazy because like it's not really a hot take. It's just his appreciation for that bar.
Yeah, like yeah.
Like
I'm sure
like
everybody appreciate like not
exactly,
everybody, but
bro.
I'm sure a lot of people appreciate that verse, but like
Hey, yeah.
nobody talks about it because it's on Nostradamus.
Wicked.
I just want to bring back awareness to that album. Like, the nigga did some masterful shit on that album, man.
Yeah,
Nas needs to hire you.
for
Hey,
How
real.
hard you going for Nostradamus?
For real, man.
Man. Hey, so I got a question.
yeah.
Do we consider like all right, so like back in the day, like how like we were talking in earlier podcasts about how like the coasts were the genres. Do we consider like certain songs to be like hip hop classics, or like do we still consider like do we still consider like West Coast classics? Right?
Wait,
So
what do you
like
mean? What do you
California
mean?
Love is a West Coast classic. It's
Yeah.
a hip
Okay.
hop classic as well, but it's a West like East Siders and stuff. They have West Coast classics.
Yeah.
Where do we put Family Ties by Baby King? Is that a West Coast classic?
That's just a classic.
Damn, told you she crazy.
Uh,
That's easy. That's just a classic.
That's just a straight classic. We're not
Yeah.
classifying Keem as West Coast.
Not even. Nah, I wouldn't.
Same with Tyler. Like I get that feel with Tyler too. I just
Yeah, I agree. I mean, those are just
they
classics.
don't. It's changing now. It's just
I
changing.
agree.
yeah.
It's changing now to where everybody sounds like they from everywhere. Roddy Ricch is from West Coast, and the nigga sound like he from Atlanta. Like, so it's it's changing now. So I guess it's either gonna be new standards or it's just everybody likes everybody. Everybody likes Family Ties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter
That's an
like,
absolute like that became a classic so fast.
But even Kendrick, like I feel like he like when he drops albums or songs. I mean, other than Good Kid, Mad City,
yeah.
because it's like a storytelling mode, so you can kind of gravitate towards West Coast. But even Kendrick now, like with Damn and Pimp a
Yeah.
Butterfly, and
I feel you because I don't
like
feel like
it
I'm
doesn't it
sorry.
doesn't it doesn't it doesn't give you like West Coast vibes. It just gives you
Mhm.
great hip hop vibes. That's I mean. I'm trying to
Yeah,
think of an
because
artist. I'm trying to think of an artist right now that gives you a certain coast vibe. Like I don't know, man. I mean, even
yeah,
like Future, he's from Atlanta, but
Larry,
Atlanta just yeah.
Larry June
yeah,
gives
Larry
West Coast.
June, I mean, yeah. But
very
those are
true for
those are
sure.
very those artists are very like niche. Like they're like I feel like once they become more popularized or more mainstream, that kind of West Coast stuff kind of starts to go away.
Yeah. Because that's what I was thinking. Like I was thinking, like what was the last like West Coast classic? And Money Trees comes to mind because it feels West Coast,
Yeah.
and like everything for Kendrick after that, like you were saying, it doesn't really feel like it feels like hip hop. It just doesn't feel like West Coast.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So
Or like Nip. Nip is a West
Nip
Coast.
is what
Yeah,
yes. He feels West Coast.
definitely.
Or even like J Rock,
Yeah.
a lot of yeah, like J Rock feels more West Coast still, I think, to this. Yeah.
Schoolboy.
Yeah, Schoolboy up.
But even like Schoolboy's last big song, that part
Yeah.
that I don't consider that as like just straight West Coast. I would
Yeah.
consider that as a hip hop, you know.
Yeah. And that's
Um
like people are starting getting more into the artistry, which I appreciate. It's like they're stepping out of that box of like I don't want to be just a West Coast artist, and which you can't blame them for that, But is it safe to say like the essence is leaving as well? Like you know what I mean? In a way, like
you
I
still
think it's
have
just
those
evolving.
artists that still kind of dude, like
they're gonna preserve it.
Snoop, Too Short, E40 are still keeping the music alive,
They're
so
leaving though. They're not gonna be around forever though.
Yeah, you're right. But they're kind of like the only few artists that still keep that West Coast with the Mount. What is it? Mount Westmore? Yeah, Mount Westmore.
Yeah.
Like they're still kind of keeping like the old school, like classic West Coast vibe. So